All right, family. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is good today. Hope everybody's doing well. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody, like and share when you come in. Like and share. All righty then. All right, family. Welcome, 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 everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. All right, all righty. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. Woo, let's get started. Let's get started. We are in for a treat tonight. I know you guys saw the title, and if you're like me, you're tired. I am done watching all of the abuse. I am done watching Black people I don't know what I don't even know what to call it right now. I'm done watching the PTSD. Welcome, welcome. I am done watching my people die. I am done watching. It's two type of Black people. If you guys have not noticed, you have the Black people that are sold out for themselves, sold out for Black culture, sold out for Blackness, sold out, and they love their Black. They love their Blackness. They love being Black. They love everything about Black. Then you have the other ones that have sold out to the enemy, that the enemy have trained, and they've trained them well, and they trained them how to think like them. They've trained them how to act like them. They've trained them how to love like them. They've trained them how to think like them. And we look at them sometimes and we confuse the two, and we're not recognizing one from another. You have Black folk that now, for me and mine, I'm just saying, I'm going to use me for an example. If I had a son and he was just shot down like a dog, and if they came to me and asked me, "Do you forgive?" I would not be um, this calm, cool, and collected woman that you see right now. Do I forgive? Do I forgive what? Who has asked for one? I'm looking at this young man, Jacob Blake, and I'm visualizing. They call the police for. I think he was breaking up a fight. Somebody called the police. Police got there. He said, "I'm going to leave." Put the kids in the car. He's walking around the car. They wanted to check his ID, of course. Because you leaving. Why you leaving? Because we showed up. So now you getting ready to start picking. That's what that was. But he was leaving so that he would not get involved. Okay, but he got involved anyway. So he was leaving, and the police grabbed him by his shirt and shot him 7 times in the back. But then you have, welcome, you guys. Hello, sis. Welcome. Welcome, Andre. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for just being ready. Yes, Black first. So then you have another young man. Okay, this Jacob was shot 7 times, and you have another young man. He's walking down the street. You hear somebody said he had a knife in his hand. I don't know if he had a knife or not. I don't know. I hope, am I okay? Is my volume okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Everything good out there? You guys let me know. So you have another young man who's walking down the street and he has a knife in his hand, right? And the police follows this young man, black young man. They follow him for a half of a mile. That's a long. That's quite a bit. Okay, no threat. He's walking with a knife, supposedly. I don't know. Allegedly, how about that? I don't know if he had a knife. I didn't see a knife. They said he had a knife. Somebody, that an eyewitness said he had a knife. So I don't know if he did or not. I didn't see one when they showed the young man, so I don't know if he had one. But I'm watching them. You're watching them behind. Excuse me, this young man, and he's walking, no threat. So he gets to the store. He begins to go in the store, and you literally shot him 11 times. Come on, help me out here, family. Then you have a white boy. No, you have one more. You have another young black man. He's 61. He's a panhandler. This one has not gotten any attention. I want you guys to look this one up. And it was, I showed him on my Facebook page, but he was panhandling. He approached two white girls and asked for money. He wasn't threatening. They ask for money all the time, right? But they don't end up dying, right? Okay, this one, he asked for money. He's black, they're white. They ignore him and keep walking. A white boy sees him and he yells, "Leave them alone! Leave them alone!" Now the girl is walking away, so he wasn't a threat. So when the young man, the white boy, the little terrorist, yelled, "Leave them alone," and then he shot the black guy, the panhandler, and killed him. I'm having an issue here. I'm just having an issue here. So then we have the white boy whose mom, he's 17, he's strapped. He comes to his mom, he asks him, she drops him off at a they're protesting. You drop your 17-year-old son off to protest at a protest and you're fully strapped. Now, I'm a mom, and I don't know how many people out here are moms. But do you really think that I'm going to drop my son off at a protest if he's 17 and he's strapped? Do you think I'm going to drop my son off? I don't think so. I'm going to be like, well, if you don't sit down somewhere. But this is where parents aren't parenting. There's no reason for that little boy to have been out there, and he was 17 years old with an AR-15. They said his dad was a police officer. Is that true, you guys? They say his dad was a police officer. He had an AR-15 and he's 17. What's he doing with that? And why was he in the car with his mom who dropped him off? Then you had officers that stood there thinking he was going to shoot some black people. That's what that was. So therefore, they didn't stop him. But guess what? Yahshua, I'm telling you, the God that we serve, Yahshua, is really amazing. Because guess what? When you set out to do harm, sometimes we don't even have to fight for ourselves. I'm just saying, sometimes we don't have to fight for ourselves. Because I remember a story in the Bible where they was in a fight, and it was more of them than it was Israelites. But they trusted y'all that they was going to be okay. So when it was time to fight, they started turning on themselves. Not the Israelites, but the people that was coming to fight them started turning on themselves. So my thing is, I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it's unrest. People aren't even understanding the time that we're in. People aren't understanding the time that we're in, family. But what is so amazing at how we can sit here and the mom of Jacob, his mother says that she forgives them. How do you forgive somebody that just almost killed your son? Your son is paralyzed. He has 8 bullets, 7 to 8 bullets in his back. He's paralyzed. His spine is disconnected. They severed his spinal cord, right? But you tell me that you forgive. For one, I didn't hear anybody ask for your forgiveness. For two, we have been so blinded and so brainwashed by Christianity. They need to I'm so glad these churches will shut down and know what to do. Because my thing is, if that's what Christianity has done to us, you don't need to step a foot back in another church. If that's what Christianity has done to black folk, that was the worst thing black folk could have did, was to get in a church. And if you didn't use these 4 months to understand what it was all about, if you didn't use these 4 months, you should be getting your own business right now. You should have been understanding and doing some research to understand, where did all of this religion come from. We weren't Christians before we got here, family. We were not. But what did happen, they killed off all the adults, and they brought a lot of children over here. And because a lot of the adults would not conform, they would not switch over to Christianity. Okay. We believed in the Torah. We were not Muslims. We believed in the Torah. You have to understand the history. We're not going to go through that right now. But if you don't understand the history, then you don't understand, why things are going on the way they're going on. Okay. You have no idea. You think things are going to get better. It's not. You think voting for somebody is going to stop all this. It's not. It's not. Because we've had this with Obama, right? Okay. Remember, they started this killing with Obama. Remember Michael Brown? Remember Trayvon Martin? Remember Danye McKinney? Okay. Who was found hung in his backyard. His mom was an activist in Missouri. And they didn't kill her. They killed her son and hung him in the backyard on a tree. And I'm going to tell you what, everybody I thought would have been involved, it would not have been a good day for them. I'm just saying, because I'm so sick and tired of us acting like we retarded. I don't even know if that's the right word. I have never seen anything like it. How do you say it's okay? It would have been harder. So you're trying to tell me that it was okay for that thug terrorist, the KKK in blue, to shoot your son and almost kill him, paralyze him, has changed his life forever, changed his children's life forever. Because don't you know, we talked about PSD. Do you not understand, or do you not think his children have that now? We won't understand until later the effects of them seeing their dad get shot in their face. We'll never understand the effects of that. And then what really pisses me off, how the news wants to dehumanize our black men. But this boy was able to speak to an officer with an AR-15 in his hand in the midst of a crowd who was protesting, but they weren't threatened. But this black guy who didn't have a weapon, for one, trying to get inside of his car. And then you had another black guy walking with allegedly a knife that wasn't around people, but you shot him 11 times. But you got a 17-year-old little thug terrorist, and that's what they are, who is walking around the streets with protesters armed, and he's not a threat. But he ended up killing 2 of your people. I don't feel nothing. I don't care. He could have killed as many white folks he wanted to. I'm mad because he didn't. I'm mad because he only killed 2. Do me a favor and get more. I'm just saying. I'm not feeling bad for them. I am not going to be feeling bad. I'm sick of them. I don't care if you got to use their own, then y'all do it. And we as black folk need to start praying these prayers, bring the fire of Yah down on his head. Not just their heads, but every officer that has shot and killed a black person. We have to start decreeing some things. We have to start saying some things. We have to start reversing that. Okay, we have to start saying stuff like, we're going to reverse it. Okay, let the fire fall on not only their heads, but their families' head to the 3rd and 4th generation. We sitting up here looking crazy and acting crazy like it's okay. It's not okay. I don't know if it's passive or what is the word right now. It's like, let me say, it's almost like you'll see 2 dudes fighting or 2 girls fighting, right? Just say, for instance, you're dating her. Well, no, I don't want to say that. Just say that, say like I came up and I said something to somebody, your child, okay? That mom will be ready to rip my head off, right? But if a white woman come up, a Becky come up to him, a Karen that come up to him and say something about, remember the little boy who the white woman said had touched her butt, and it was his book bag that rubbed up against her behind. And she swore up and down that that little boy was trying to touch her nasty flat behind. Okay, I'm just saying. And the little boy, when they asked, "Do you forgive?" He said no. He was mad. The little boy said no, but the mom made him apologize or made him forgive her. I'm just like Willie Lynch all over again. We have to understand that's the Willie Lynch syndrome, you guys. That is Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch allowed the moms to get the boys or the children in line. Okay. The mom had, that was her job. When you saw a sassy child or sassy young man or boy, it was your job to tone him down so that massa wouldn't sell him or massa wouldn't beat him half to death. So they left it up to the woman to control her son. So when you see, remember the mom that came out and you seen on the news and her son was at a protest and she almost beat the heck out of him, was beating him up, and she won prizes for that. You have to be very careful, family. When you see white folk backing you and getting behind you and they rooting you on and they're really, oh my God, we're so proud of her. You need to look at yourself and say, oh, I'm doing something wrong, because white folk, if you are a threat, they not going to be proud of you doing nothing. If you're not a threat, they are not going to be proud of you doing anything. So we have to start looking and checking people out, even people that you see on the Facebook. If you see that they have a whole slew of white folk following them, don't rock with them. I've seen a post today that said, all white folk aren't bad. I replied, all the ones that I've met are. Stop calling white folk enemies friends. We have to learn how to recognize our enemies. And that's what we're not doing, even amongst us. Because I look like you, if you're not talking like me, or if you don't have a little something in your voice that's letting me know that you're good. But if you sounding like, and you come up to me and say, oh, all white folk ain't bad, I'm going to look at you suspect, because I'm going to look at you and be like, okay, let me watch this person. Because all the ones that I know, and from the history that I've seen from them, all of them are bad. Every last one. Because if you're friends with one, or so-called friends, you can't be friends with your enemies, you guys. I'm tired of y'all saying that. You can't be friends with your enemy. But if you have a so-called best friend that's white, that means, you know what that means? That means you're safe. That means you're no threat. That means she feel cool around you and you're good. But I guarantee you, you're not her best friend. I guarantee you it. Because long as she can use you, long as you're good, long as you, but if you talk like me, I have no white friends. Long as you talk, if you start talking like me, you won't have that friend for long. And that's how you know it's not a friend. Because if you're gonna be my friend, I have to be me. I have to be black all the time. If you allow me to be black all the time, and the way I talk, if we cool like that, you'll be saying, Cat, that's Cassie, that's my girl. She gonna talk like that regardless. I don't feel no certain type of way because what she's saying is true. And then I can rock with you. You know what I'm saying? But if I can't be me and I can't talk black and I can't say what's truth, speak my truth, like Nick Cannon, he couldn't speak his truth. He can't speak his truth, right? He couldn't speak his truth. He tried. But what they do, they shut him down. And now they keep riding on him. They keep riding on him because they know you need that money and we're going to ride you until we can. And he almost, like I said the other day, he almost was trying to, he was almost ready to denounce Faircon. Okay. But he came up with some other stuff. But my thing is, if I cannot talk black and talk and be the way I am, I'd have no need for you, because I'm not going to change who I am. And a lot of black folk who caping with Karen, they've changed their thinking, they've changed who they are. Or like Candace Owens, she's changed her whole being to hang around, to be around, and still didn't even get invited to the Republican National, did she? That's how they don't want you there. That's how they don't even care if you show up or not. That's how they don't like you. And they keep showing us as often as they can. They show us, I don't rock with you like that. But we keep on trying to infiltrate, keep on trying to be friends, keep on trying to make them take our money, keep on trying. Why? Have we got enough? Why have we not gotten enough? As long as they find us useful, they'll keep you around. But as soon as you be black enough, as soon as you start speaking up for George Floyd and talking against that officer whose knee was on his neck, And as soon as you start talking about reparation, and they look at you like, reparations for what? As soon as you start talking black and talking about going to get that check, or either really going against this 17-year-old right now, because you know they made every excuse in the world why it was okay. And he was a young man, he was a 17-year-old. He wasn't a grown man like they call our 14-year-old. They called Trayvon Martin a grown man. They called the 12-year-old Tamir Rice a grown. They thought he was older than that. How are you older and you're 12? Even our babies don't look 12. Our black babies don't look 12. He probably looked like he was 10. You understand what I'm saying? Because black don't crack. But we have to get to the place where we're recognizing that we are recognizing the enemy, you guys. We are calling our slave masters great grandchildren friends. You can't do that because racism is passed down from generation to generation. If they saw Kunta being bit or beaten, bit. If they saw kidsies being raped, if they saw Kunta's toes getting cut off, because granddaddy did it and they were standing there looking and they saw the black man that was hanging up on the tree and they put his body on fire. Do you not know they passed that this generation? Or that's in their that DNA is jacked up. They get PTSD too. And their DNA is jacked up. Ask these men that's dating these white women, they'll tell you. Worst thing they ever could have did was dating one of them. They'll tell you. Because I'd have met some. And I'd have met some who have babies with white women. And right now, I'm miserable as I don't know what. So the worst thing they could have did was dated a white woman. That grass ain't green on the other side, is it? Get over there and see all that dookie in the yard dealing with. Then you'd have babies, then you start a family. Now you can't leave. You're stuck with them babies because you're going to be with her or be involved in that child's life for the next forever, right? So that mom is going to be there always. So guess what? You can just put yourself in the rut. But it's just so offensive for a parent. And that's why I say what I say as far as my title, you guys. I am so tired, just like Dylan's roof. When the family and the one lady that he left alive. Remember the one lady, what she said at the court? What she said at the court? You're right, reparations is more than just a check. But what did they say? What did they say? One lady that Dylan Roof left alive, she said, we told you we enjoyed you at our service. How you enjoy it? Who don't feel that spirit? I could walk in the room, you guys, and feel if it's not a good, if somebody walk in the room, I could look at that person and be like, okay. We have gifts. And if we don't use those gifts, that's when we get in trouble. That's when we get in trouble, when we don't use those gifts. I know somebody, 9 people in the church, nobody felt that devil. Nobody felt that devil. Are you serious? You mean to tell me you sat there for an hour and a half at Bible study, an hour, 2 hours maybe. I'm just saying, Bible study could be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and you didn't feel nothing. You mean it? That's just hard to believe. Or did you feel something just sit there because you thought, oh, I'm just tripping. He ain't gonna do nothing. I know he had a long coat, he had an overcoat, and the coat was too big, and you didn't see that gun under the coat. You didn't see the gun at no time. Nobody got up to look back to see what was going on with it. Or go up there and look him in the eye and say something. You didn't welcome him, you didn't say nothing. You didn't greet him, you didn't. I'm at the store, you guys. And if I have somebody walk behind me, I will literally stop walking, turn, and I'm looking them eye in the eye. I need to see what's going on. Because I don't want to shoot the wrong person. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I want to be sure that you're not going to pull out a knife or I got my eyes on them. Seriously. When you get too close to me in the back, I'm watching you. Because right now stuff is too crazy. We don't have time to be playing with these crackers. We don't have time to be playing with these devils. And yes, I do believe that they are Satan's children. I do believe that. And I say that all the time. But it really hurts and it makes me so mad. I don't know if this mom thinks she's going to get something or is it the Christian thing to do, but you're making black folk look weak. And some of us ain't that weak. I'm telling you, they going to walk up on the wrong one. they're gonna walk up on the wrong one, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna be the officer on what on leave. Because sometimes this you got to take if you don't fight back, if you don't start somewhere, we have to start somewhere. If we don't start back, if we don't fight for what we believe in, bullies gonna continue to bully. Uh, you better believe that, dry bones. No, you got twisted, bro. We no, we black first. Okay, we black first on this channel. We are black first, and this is what I'm saying. It just upsets me so bad to see his mom apologizing. She was like, "I forgive him." I cannot get over that. I was so upset about that. I'm not understanding that. And now you got people saying, "Oh, in order to get out of this, we got to vote." How is that? I'm back to that again. Yes. How is voting going to get us out of this? No. Sometimes y'all's waiting on you to move. You get up and attempt to do something, and I guarantee you we got your back. But we won't do that. We don't want to move. We don't want to do anything different. We want to sit up there, look crazy, and keep forgiving our enemy, and they keep tearing your head off, and I forgive you. And they looking at you like, I didn't even ask for your forgiveness for one. Dylan Roof didn't even ask for their forgiveness, and they was forgiving that boy, and he didn't kill 9 of 9. And everybody, 9 of those family members, those 9 family members, it was so many more, told him, I forgive you. I think it was one man that didn't. But you mean to tell me, even the woman that he left alive, she had the nerve to say, I forgive you. I forgive you for putting me in PTSD. Did I say it right? PTSD? PTSD. Okay. I'm going to forgive you for now I can't sleep at night. I'm going to forgive you for making me trip out when I get in around a crowd of people. I'm going to forgive you for trauma. I'm going to forgive you for racism. I'm going to forgive you for what? For changing my life around? I'm going to forgive you for what? They making us look weak. I'm telling I often think back on remember about them jeans, the brother. Remember that right there? Yes. Septia, yes. Both of them are same person. It's I look at that as one person. You got a left arm and a right arm, right? It's attached to the same body, right? That's how I see them. I don't see them as any different. They're the same people. And Biden is just as racist as Trump. And there's no different. And he's not. He's already said, I'm not going to defund. I'm not going to dismantle. I'm not going to do anything. He's not even promising black folks. He did promise that he's going to do bring 11 million immigrants here. So just think, if you don't have jobs now, you better open up your own business, and we need to support each other, because I guarantee you, black men, you won't be having no jobs. You think you're unemployed now? You better start your own business. I'm telling you, it's black folk getting ready to get into a rude awakening if they vote for them 2 races. And Carmela, or whatever her name is, she mad at black men because her dad. That's why she does. That's why does what she does to black men, because of her father. This, I guess, their relationship is not the best. But we've got to stop with the craziness of being so. I don't know. Do we even recognize what we're doing? Do you think they recognize being sellouts? Do you think or do you really believe they believe what they're? Do you believe that Candace is saying? Okay, when Candace is going against black folk, do you really believe that she's believing what she's saying? Do you really think she feels like that? Because some of the stuff that she says out of her mouth is like, wow. I don't understand. How is it possible for them? She almost didn't have a son. I cannot feel anything for her. I'm so mad with that woman. I could have just slapped the hell out of her. I could have went up there and just start fighting. What is wrong with you? And see, this is what we got to feel with white folk. I guarantee you, if somebody black can do something to her, step on her toe, that woman will be ready to go off. The same way we fight each other. We see, the fights on Facebook, right? You see them, they be tearing each other up, right? But you don't do a white cop like that. You don't do a white person like that, period. Them Karens be talking trash to the men and be stopping them from going inside. Have you seen the Karens that stopping the men at the door of their own apartment buildings, of their own apartments? And they'll sit up there and argue with this Karen. Do you not know I'm being pushed that woman on the floor? You got one time. I'm gonna ask you one time, and that's it. Get out of my way. And I'm gonna be looking so crazy. She gonna be like, that woman crazy. I better get out of her way. I'd be waiting on somebody to stand in front of my car talking about you. This my talking about you not leaving. Oh, I'm not leaving work. Okay. She believes it's working for her. How is that working for you? What's working for her? Does she think she's gonna get some money? She better ask about them jeans people, because they didn't get a dime. After, well, they did. The boy got an award. They gave him an award, and then they slapped him in the face and didn't give no money from the city. They didn't get one dime from the city. That's the sad part about it. Cause white folk don't like them either. Like white folk don't like sellouts. They don't like sellouts. But we'll sell out each other in a minute. We'll fight each other. We'll fight each other, and we won't fight them. We won't even say nothing to them. We won't even. I don't want nobody to make. I don't want nobody to think I'm racist. What? What are you talking about? What they got to do with being racist because you love your own? I keep telling people, because I love my own does not mean I hate them. I don't trust them. I don't want to be bothered with them. And I definitely don't have a relationship with them. I don't want to be bothered. I work with them. Okay. I put my headphones on. I don't want to be bothered with none of them. I look at how they backbite each other, and you think I'm gonna get in that? No. And they be, oh, Cassie, you're just so quiet. I'll be like, because I don't want to be bothered. And they know I have my headphones on for a reason, because I don't want to be bothered. I don't know how it's. I don't understand. And she said we need to check our hearts. And she said we need to check our hearts, and we need to forgive. And he's not gonna want us tearing up the city. I'm gonna tell you what. Somehow, y'all tear it up, burn it down. They better rebuild it. The only way that this is going to get it, the only way it's gonna get back right. It's all got to be dismantled. We have got to get back separate. And we have to start. It all comes back to education, and it all comes back to separate but equal. Separate everything. We had that, and what do? We listened to a man that didn't have the vision, because Yah did not tell him to integrate us. He told us in Deuteronomy 7 not to. He said, don't be unequally yoked. He said, come from among and be ye separate. Did he not? Those are scriptures, right? Who was he talking about? He was talking to Israel. He was talking to us. That's who you are, family. He was talking to black people. He said, don't be unequally yoked. And what do? We fought them to sit in their restaurants. We fought them to eat at their restaurant. We fought them to go to their schools. We fought them to sit at the lunch counter. We fought them to take our money. Are you freaking kidding? We should have known then that we was crazy, because that don't sound right today. Yes, George Floyd family did say the same thing, didn't he? What did they told us? They told you to vote, didn't they? They told us to vote. Now tell me what voting gonna do. Because I don't understand, what are we voting for? They told us to vote. So us voting is going to do what? Is that going to stop police brutality? We've been voting for 60 years. And guess what? We've been fighting police brutality. Okay? Because remember the Black Panthers, they killed the Black Panthers and lied and said what? They did. No riots. She didn't want them. Yep. No riots. Y'all, she told them to sit down and told them to stop rioting, stop tearing up. Just what? Just what? Just what? Do what? What? How do you even fix your mouth? I'm gonna tell you what. If it had been me, I said tear it up. I don't care. Burn it down, tear it up, do something. I don't care until we get justice. Until my son, that cop is in jail, and I will pay somebody in jail to whoop his butt or do something every day. Every day, have at it. Every day, fellas. Every day, have at it. Have at it, fellas. And y'all know what I'm talking about. What they do best in jail. I'm just saying. It's time for us. And just like, you know what? And what really, 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 it's getting me at how we keep accepting when they say they found men, black men hanging on trees. I'm going to tell you what, family, that's not something that we do. You know that, right? That is not something that we do. We don't, I don't know about you, but I don't know how to tie no noose. I don't know how to tie a noose. How many of you here know how to tie a noose? That's not something black men do. That's not something black women gonna do. Whose trait is that, family? That's not our trait. We don't hang ourselves. We don't kill ourselves like that. We're too scared. That's not a black person's trait. I'm just saying. But what they've been saying when they finding our bodies on trees. But I have had enough of black folk. I'm so outdone. I'm so upset. And it is time for us to deal with that PTSD, Willie syndrome, and the Stockholm syndrome. It's all three. It's time for us to start recognizing it. And I saw a picture. I keep telling you about this picture where the officer was fighting a black guy. This time it was a black guy. And another black guy got out of his car to assist the officer. That's how sick we are. That's how sick we are. That is how sick we are. The black guy was fighting an officer. Let me say it again. Maybe y'all didn't hear. A black man drives up. He gets out of his car and he gets out to assist the police, the white officer. Go figure that. And was beating up the black dude. And the officer just stood back. He's like, wow, they really are sick. Because I would have been like, wow, that's what I would have thought. I would have said they really are sick. They really are. You would have thought that they would have jumped the officer. But everybody is too scared. How you gonna change your situation? It's gonna cost blood. Yes, it's gonna cost blood. But how else do you change your situation? We're not gonna get everybody, y'all. 2/3 gonna die. 2/3. And a lot of them 2/3 is in the church. A lot of them 2/3 in the church. Because they don't even know who they are. They don't even care to understand who we are. They don't even understand that you guys know about the meteorite headed to the earth, right? Y'all don't even understand that. I have to look, I have to do more research on that. But yeah, it's supposed to hit November 2nd. Yes. 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 You're right, Septia. You're right. They wasn't talking about owning the bus. They just wanted to sit on the bus. They was talking about getting jobs instead of getting your own businesses. That's the sad part about it. Yes. Because guess what? If they do for white folk, what about that white black, what's her name? Angela. She's running for Congress. I think her name is Angela. She was in jail for what? 4 years? How many years was she? Trump just pardoned her. And she's running for Senate or Congress. Black girl. Black girl. But she is not for black folk, honey. Y'all better not put that black. She is running for Congress or Senate, and her name is Angela or something like that, I think. She is all for white folk. Y'all better be see, this is what get me. When black folk don't do their homework, we don't stick behind nobody. We don't investigate, we don't research anybody. We just be like, oh, she's black, let's vote for her. Uh-uh. We have to stop doing that. Let's start recognizing these people that don't have a heart after us. Let's start recognizing people that's not black first. Let's start recognizing this. And you can tell. Because if they rocking with them white folk like that, that means they're no threat. They're not a threat. Yes, they are trying to make us dependent on the government. But guess what? We know that there's an issue. We know that there are things that we need to work on. But guess what? We won't do it. We know that. But we won't do it. That's the sad part about it. What are we trying? Okay, we know that they're trying to make our boys gay, right? We know that they're educating our children wrong, right? I mean, we know this. We know that there's police brutality, right? We know that the Black Caucus is crooked, all of them, because most of them came from they're immigrants. They came from like Caribbean. What Sheila Jackson came from Bahamas. Okay, so we know certain things are going on. But do we try to replace the Black Caucus? Do we try to run for some of these offices ourselves? Because guess what, family? We can start running for mayor. We could start running for the US Congress. We could start running for some of these offices ourselves. We can start running locally for the school board, city council, the mayor, the DA, all of these judges that you vote in. We can start voting their behinds out. All these crooked DAs that's not holding these police officers accountable, we can vote them out. All of the mayors that's not upholding, like that mayor for Brianna, out. I'm serious. We start voting locally. That's really where we can change things for our situation. We can change our situations locally. But federally, you don't even pick your own president, you guys. So what is the big deal about us voting? They want to give you the illusion that you're voting. But who picks the person? Who picked Trump? People didn't, because the people picked Hillary. Remember? Hillary won that election. But what your electoral vote said what? They wanted Trump, so they put Trump in, right? I'm just saying, you guys, we don't have the power. They have given you the illusion that you can vote, that you have the power to put somebody in. They have it set up to saying if they pick the wrong one, they're not getting in. They have given themselves power over you guys. Yes, they'll let you act like you picking the person, but pick the wrong person. They wanted Trump. They didn't want Hillary. They want to let a woman get up in there. And I cannot even believe that they're allowing Camilla, or whatever, Kamala. I cannot believe that Joe picked. Well, I can believe. I do, because they're two of the same. She's a female Joe. She is a female Joe because she never held police accountable. She was called the police officer, the attorney for the police officers. They knew her well. They backed her. She was for the police union. Yes. So therefore, that's telling you a lot about Black folk who is backed by the police union. That means they're bought by the police union, and they're not going to go against their bosses because they put money behind them. Just like this Fannie Willis in Georgia. Paul Howard, remember him? He brought charges up on the police officers that shot Brooks, right? The police union got with this Black woman who looks like us, but they hired her. The attorney for the police officer backed her with financially. The police union backed her financially. White folk came out and voted for her, got Paul Howard out. Black folk didn't even come out and vote for him. He had 16,000 votes out of 1,000,000 people. Tell me why they didn't allow this Black man who stuck his neck out for Black people. They didn't allow him to finish the job. So guess what's getting ready to happen? That police officer with all them charges, those charges are going to go away. Miss Fannie Willis, that they think is going to have their back, she's for the police because they backed her financially. So she's a bought prosecutor or DA or whatever. She's bought. They already bought her. That's not unlike Black folk. We don't get behind somebody and support them financially. Paul Howard, we should have came out in droves because we knew that they were not going, they were coming after him. We knew it. But what did we do? We didn't even appreciate him bringing up charges against the police officer. Who else is going to stand up for Black folk now? I wouldn't. We don't back anybody. We back the wrong people. We don't understand history. Look at that person. Look who's backing that person. If you have the police backing that person, why would you want that person in office? Why would you want to put your vote behind that person? Why? The police union? They don't back you, just like Tammy Kemp. Remember her? Botham Jeans, that judge? Who was backing her family? The judge. Who was backing Tammy Kemp? The judge. The police union, right? Why? Because she was safe. And that was their girl. And what she do? Went up there, gave Amber a hug. What judge? I ain't never seen no judge come off the bench to hug. I guarantee you, not one white judge has come off the bench to hug a black defendant. I guarantee you, I'll give you $100 if you can show me one. I'll put up $100 right now. If you can show me one judge that came off the bench and hugged a black defendant who was up for murder. I'm just saying. See, this kind of stuff that bothers me with black folk. But I love me some black folk, but I'm telling you, I'm done. I cannot deal with y'all. I can't deal with it. I cannot deal with the mammies. I cannot deal with the folk that you want to forgive. Somebody that darn near killed your son. Your son is hanging on by a thread. He'll never walk again. And I'm gonna tell you what, if that was my mom and that was her son or her daughter, and you forgave, oh, I'm gonna let you have it. Cause you ought to know better. My kids know. Look, don't even play. My kids already know. Tear it up, sue the city, sue the, and I'm gonna tell you, with that boy, the 17-year-old, his mom dropped him off there. I would sue his mother. I would sue him. I would sue police officers. I would sue the city because he was 17. And I would sue the person that gave him that R-15, that AR-15 that he got in the mama's car with. Who gave him that gun? Who gave him that gun? And where did she think she was taking her son with a loaded AR-15? Where did she think she was taking that the terrorist? I'm reading some of the comments, that's why I got quiet. You can write an essay, huh? I'm just like, I've had it. Unity. Let me tell you something. It's gonna take, I have gotten to the conclusion that it is going to take y'all to do that. We can't do I don't know if we're too far gone or we have gotten so docile. We get mad, we get angry, we complain, we boycott, we're protesting, right? What comes after protesting? Are we ever gonna fight? Are we ever gonna what? Are we ever going? We didn't burn out. We done burn down towns. We pull statues down, but I still don't see any laws. I don't see your Black Caucus. I seen Karen Bass. She gets on Twitter. She goes. She said something about the young man that was killed. I mean the one that was shot, and the one she said something about the one with the knife, or allegedly he had a knife. She said something about the one getting shot in the back. Nobody said anything about the panhandler who hadn't, by right, he shouldn't be dead. There was no reason for that young man, but he was no reason for that thug terrorist to shoot him. He was arrested, which is good. So let's see what kind of charges they're gonna bring him up on. Okay, let's just see. Let's just wait and see. I can't see, but what also gets me is when they try to dehumanize. Okay, or Jacob, they start trying to dehumanize him like he deserved to be shot. And then when I hear people say, "Oh, he wasn't, he was what he didn't, what you call it, when they said that, what, come on, help me out with the word, he didn't conform, he wasn't going along or whatever with the, how are you, my thing is, if we do go along with the officer, we still die, right? And then if we don't, we die. We do, we die, we don't, we die. So what do? That's why Jacob was getting out of there. He's like, okay, police are here, I'm out. Which is what I would have did too. I don't need to stay here. But my thing is, why would the police officer even bother him? Yes, the useless fighting must stop. We have to start teaching our own. If we don't, nothing is going to change, because that is the problem right now. That is the problem right now. If we don't start educating our own, and we start teaching them a code of behavior, and we stop calling white folk friends, they're not. I hate when I see a white person. I have a lady that's on my Facebook page, and she was talking about her friend who was white, and she said that's her best friend. And of course, I had to. That's not your. Come on now. How we this old and we call it enemies friends? How is that possible? You still don't know that's not your friend. Okay, I see what kind of adult you are. I'm just saying. It makes just a very unwise. You have no wisdom, and that's what I told you. You have no wisdom, which that is no wisdom. If you have a best friend white and you see all of this stuff going on, how do you trust her? How do you trust her? You see the woman with the four friends, four white friends that she went to a sleepover and she was dead in the morning, dead, dead. Nobody know what happened. Nobody, that wasn't her house. Who let the person in the house? Tell me that. Who let the white man in the house? She was in the yard dead. So who opened the door? It was seven of them. Don't nobody know what happened. Did nobody hear nothing? Was y'all drunk, high, or in on it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's time for us to get some sense. You had a black guy that did the same thing. He went on a boating trip with seven of his white buddies, probably the brothers of the seven women that his sister probably went over their house, and the brother went to the boat trip with the seven white men, their brothers, okay, and came up missing. He drowned. And you know them devils can fake, right? This is why you don't trust your enemy. You don't let them devils get close to you. You don't let them feed you. You don't let them get close to you. You don't trust them because they'll smile. They'll smile in your face, honey. And all the time want to take your place. The backstabbers, right? Remember that song? Backstabbers. Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. I don't trust none of them. I told girls at work I don't trust none of them. Well, you mean you've not met one here? Girl, did you hear what I said? I guess she thought I was gonna change because we were talking one day. We were talking the other day, and we was talking about what's going on now. And she just happened to ask Cassie. She asked me a question, and I said, "Girl, look, I don't trust none of y'all." And she looked at me like she was shocked. What do you mean, shocked? She said, "You mean to tell me you've not met one here?" No. Did you hear what I said? I'm not gonna change my. You ask me a question. You don't ask me a question you want to answer. No, I don't trust any of you. I see how y'all treat each other. Why would I go against what my eyes are telling me? Me, my glasses, I got four. Okay, my glasses and my eyes telling me not to trust y'all. So why would I trust you after what I'm seeing how you guys treat each other? I'm gonna be dumb enough to say, "Oh, they're not gonna do me like that." Girl, you got me twisted. What's wrong with y'all? And I don't care if you understand how I'm feeling or not. It doesn't matter. My thing is time for us to get it together, family. And I don't know how we're going. I don't know. I think just the ones that want to get it together, we get it together, and we leave the rest behind. I just because I don't believe that we're gonna be able to get them all. I'm sorry. In our in NFAC, he's been talking about reload. He's been talking about taking us away, right? You know, getting black folk out. But my thing is, I'm done. I'm out before. I don't know when he gonna do what he doing or what they gonna do. But my thing is, I'm out way before then because I'm tired. I've had enough. I can't stand it. I'm getting so agitated. I don't want to see, and I think it affects us even when we see it. We're not there, but you could almost visualize how that police officer pulled that boy by his shirt and literally was holding on to him while you shooting him. You literally held on to his shirt, grabbed him by the shirt, pulled his shirt, and shot him seven. What threat was he? What threat? The boy didn't have a weapon. My thing is, I went to the academy. This was years back, and it was said that we have to have, say, for instance, if I have if my person does not have a gun, I'm not supposed to pull a gun. Now I do know that. Okay, if you have a knife, they got the baton. If they have a stick, then you have your gun. Okay, but you're always one weapon up. You don't go from no weapon to a gun. A person didn't even have a gun. That is so against. That's so against the policy. It's ridiculous, and people don't know the policy. That's policy. It's always been policy. You don't go from no weapon to a gun if that person doesn't have a weapon in the hand. They said, well, he was getting in the car and he could have pulled out a gun. They know that that wasn't what that boy was doing. He was getting in the car to leave, and they knew that. So you shoot him. You shoot him. I'm done. Oh God, I don't know. This is so aggravating because you know it's so wrong, and you looking and you going, okay, because you know I'm gonna tell you guys, you know it's gonna hit the fan, okay? Somebody gonna lose it, and it's gonna hit the fan nationwide. Nationwide. Hmm. They did lose their will to fight, but you know what? Even a dog, you put them in a corner, they're gonna bite at some point, right? And I do believe, I do feel that it's something coming. I do believe that. I do believe that. I just refuse to believe that we're gonna remain that docile. You can only do so much to a person and they be ready to tear you apart. You can only do so much. I'm just saying. I don't believe that I don't believe that we're going to continue allowing people to do what they're doing and not do anything. I just cannot believe that that's going to continue. I believe that at one point, cuz somebody said something about they see it getting to the point where um yes, we are in a race war. Yes, we are. But I don't think we know that. I don't think most black people don't know that because they still being friends. I see black guys walking down the street with no weapon. I'm like, you got to be crazy. I mean, literally walking. You don't see no gun. You don't see no knife. You don't see nothing. I'm like, well, hopefully they got in the drawers or something. I don't know because they have shorts on and you don't see nothing. So why are you still? Why is it that we know that things are going on the way they are going on, and they don't have knife, taser, mace, gun, nothing. And they're sometimes it's late at night and they're walking or early in the morning, like 3 or 4 in the morning, or 4 or 5 in the morning. It's really super early and they have nothing and they're just walking. And I'm like, are you serious? It's too late in the day for us not to know that we're at war. And I don't think black folk are catching that yet. We are still trying to be friends. If I get on here and I say, and I talk about, because I talk about white folk, I don't care. I talk about it when I'm standing there because they know how I feel. But some black folk get mad at me. Do you not know that some black folk get mad at me? And look at them and I say, you a sellout anyway. You a cold sellout. It doesn't matter if you get mad. I tell them just like that. I don't care because they are not worth my time, and I don't want to be friends with coons. They will get you hurt and they'll get you killed. They will get you dead real quick because they will sell you out. They will sell you out for the white folk. They will sell you out for their best friend Becky, and Becky will sell them out for Tom. I'm just saying, but we haven't figured that out yet. We think we better. We think okay, just like Kizzy. Remember in Kunta Kinte, Kizzy thought that white girl was her friend. What happened when Daddy went to sell Kizzy? She looked out that window. Kizzy saw her looking out that window, and she closed that window, went on about her business, didn't she? Kizzy never forgot that because she really thought that that girl was her friend. You couldn't have told Kizzy that that wasn't her friend. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm dying to see what Mr. Kyle. What was the boy's name? Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse, 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 right? I'm dying to see how much time he's gonna get. He's going to get some. He's not going. I don't know. I can't see him being spending a lot of time. Well, I don't know because he killed somebody white, so that might be a difference. That might be, he may get a little more time that anybody else would actually get. You know what I'm saying? So he may get a little more time because they were white. But I'm gonna tell you why them officers didn't stop him because they thought he was gonna shoot some black people. That's what that was. But I'm gonna tell you what, boy. I'm gonna tell you what. They let our show wish he had to just sprayed more than two. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all forgive me. But I'm telling you, he should have just had added. He should have emptied his little AR-15, whatever. Because I'm gonna tell you what, they would say the same thing about us. Remember when Kobe died? They had so much to say about Kobe, and Kobe, the plane hadn't even been off. They hadn't even picked the plane up off the ground, and they talked trash about Kobe. So guess what? I feel nothing. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad one bit. I don't feel bad one bit. And for him to have an AR, and he was talking to a police officer at the time, and they was trying to tell the police officer that he was the one that shot the people. This dude went home, got in his car, which his mom was probably waiting because she dropped him there. Did she ever wonder what he did, what he was doing with that gun? Did she? You think she even wondered that? But my thing is, he went home, went to sleep, and they arrested him in the morning. So that's how sick this little boy is. This is how sick he is. He shot two people and went home like it wasn't nothing. He went home like it wasn't nothing. That's how sick he is. That's how sick that little thug terrorist is. But it is time for us to get it together. It is time for us to come together. We should be to the point where you remember how our parents used to say, if you one fight, you all fight. That's how we should be, family. We should automatically. I'm gonna tell you what. I got a guy. I'll talk about my African friend at work. I love me. I love him. He is just the best, right? But I had to get on him because he can act like a coon too. Sometimes I'll be looking at him like, okay. He said, Cassie, I'm getting it. I said, you finally getting it. He understands now. He understands. We had a girl that was saying something about him today, actually, and he comes around. We had to wear masks, and of course, I wear mine down here because yeah. So of course, he didn't have his mask on. So the white girl said, "Wear your mask." I looked at her. He said, "Huh?" I said, "Why don't you mind your business?" I told her that because my thing is, you have white folk that's always trying to be in other black folk business all the time, and I'm so sick of her because she's so nosy and she in everybody's business. So every chance I can now, I'm gonna say what I need to say to her because she runs her mouth all the time. And I told her, I said, you need to mind your business. That's a grown man right there you talking to. That's not one of your children. And she looked and got quiet the whole, but you have to do that in order to shut them down. You have to do that. You have to shut them down because if you let them go, they'll keep on going with it. They don't know how to back up themselves. You have to shut them down. And this is what I'm saying, even now, family, if we don't shut them down and we don't stand up nationwide, we pick a day nationwide, we have to start somewhere nationwide. And I guarantee you, this is going to be the sad part about it because when we do stand up, it's going to be some black folk that's going to try to fight against you. I guarantee you for massa. What you bet? What you bet, family? What you bet it's going to be somebody that's going to try to stand up for them devils. After we stand up nationwide, it's going to be somebody that's going to try to come against us to fight for them. What you bet? You ain't going to tell me it ain't going to happen. I know us too well, honey, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But my thing is, we have to be smart. Really. I'm telling you, but I'm gonna tell you what. As soon as you remember in Haiti, before they uprose, before they had their uprise, okay, what happened? They had to kill the coons. They did. They had to kill all the coons first because those coons would have been right there, ready to help our master. Remember when Nat Turner was trying to do his little whatever with the white folk? You had one that told, right? That one, he should have. But see, that's what you see. We have to start. This is where we going wrong. We're not recognizing the coons around us. We're not recognizing them. Why aren't we recognizing them? Because it took me a long time to, well, they didn't know. I shouldn't say that because I knew when I saw L. Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and Cornell West, I can't stand it. I'm telling you, Cornell West, I think he's a piece of dookie. He's married to a white woman. How you gonna be black first, married to a white woman? Do you guys really believe that? Do you believe that you could be black first, married to a white mate? I don't believe so. I don't believe that you can have a white mate, male or female, and be black first. I just don't believe it. Somebody's going to be unhappy. You're going to make somebody feel uncomfortable. And you're not going to make your wife feel uncomfortable or your husband. I'm just saying. My suggestion is we've got to get the healing. We've got to get the healing that we deserve. It's time. It's time. And I'm hoping that people right now will get their educational schools together. We have to start educating our own. That's the first thing right there. If we don't, I mean, and this is now is the time to do it. When schools are down, we have so many programs out there that we can turn to and we can take those programs and start educating our own children. And this is what Black folk need to do as a whole, but we won't do it. We're waiting to go back and into the working world. We're waiting to go back to church. We're waiting to go back to the brainwashing. We're waiting to go back to these schools. We're waiting to go back into what didn't work for us. Why? Yeah. But we have got to get to the place where we're educating our own babies. That's where it's going to start. And I do believe that we need a class, but I don't even know if Black folk would even go to the class. You got to have a PTSD class. I'm sorry. You guys know that, right? You got to have a PTSD class. And I don't know what you call it. You call it something else, but I think it should be mandatory because I don't even think that we're aware of what we're doing. It's only a few people that think like us, y'all. And it's probably a handful of us that think the way we think, and the rest of them are sold out to massa. The rest of them would have told on us because we'd have been out there trying to escape, and we'd have had to kill them all first. We would have had to kill them, y'all, before we'd have got off that plantation. We'd have had to kill some mammies. We'd have had to kill them because they'd have told, they're out there trying to escape. They're gonna be escaping next Tuesday, and this is how they're gonna do it. And they would have told everything without Massa even asking them. They would have just volunteered the information. I'm just saying, we are so sick. When I saw his mom today, but did you see the dad? The dad, he said, I don't trust white folk. The dad started praying in Hebrew. No, he started praying in Aramaic, right? Aramaic. But the mom was totally Christianized in her mind. Because that woman probably wasn't that Christian. I think she was just playing for the cameras or something. Because I'm gonna tell you what, if I had been her friend or her son, I would have been like, I would be really upset if that was my mom. I would be, and I'm laying here crippled. Okay, I'm laying here paralyzed. I'm laying, and my kids and saw what happened, and now I ain't gonna be able to walk. I ain't gonna be able to do nothing. I ain't gonna be able to do anything for myself. And you just sat up there and forgave the man and not got vengeance. Vengeance is ours. Okay. What is the problem? Y'all need to handle that. I don't care what y'all got to do. If you got to wait for 2 years, wait until after the trial, see what's going to happen. And if they let that man go, it's full game. I'm serious. I'm serious, you guys. We have to start doing stuff. I don't care if we're doing it on the sly or we got to start. We got to start somewhere. Yes, you're right. We won't be able to save everybody, but can we save some? Is there? You remember Abraham? He asked when y'all told him to get the people together. Lot, okay, and he asked, he started going down the line. Can we save half? Do you think half? We're gonna save half or no? Not even half. We got to. Oh God, you guys, it's so sickening. It just makes my stomach. When she was standing up there and she was and Don Lemon of all people was interviewing her. Little fag boy. He was sitting up there interviewing little LGBT elemental P person was sitting up there interviewing her. My thing is you're black first. Most of them LGBT, they're LGBT first and they're black. Okay. But my thing is when he was sitting up there questioning her, he was asking her questions so that she could, because he was like, well, what if it had been the officer? Would you have been able to forgive him? And she said, well, it would have been a little harder, but yes. Oh, what? Are you serious? I'm so outdone. I don't know what's it gonna take. I don't understand. Uh, it's gonna take God to do it. Yes, Don Lemon. Yes, and let me tell you, most black folk that you see on the news, or you see them out in public, or you see them out in leadership, they've sold out because it's no black people that talk like me that they're going to give a position to because I'm not part of the white supremacy game. Okay, I'm not gonna tolerate a lot of that coon stuff, plain and simple. You had a girl that just started working, and she said, "Well, Cassie, I'm not, the suck up type." I said, "Well, you won't last here long, seriously." And it's just so sad because that's how they do it. They want to train you. They want to train you to look and act and think like them. If you don't look, think, and act like them, then you won't make it. Like the Oprahs, okay? Like the Gayle Kings, okay? Those are sellouts. They almost like they promote the sellout. They give them a special seat at the table because you not wanting the whole table. You just want the little crumbs underneath the table. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want a whole meal. You just take the crumbs that's dropping from their meals. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what Oprah and Gail are. And those are the ones that make it in the United States of these Americas. Are the sellouts, are the Sambos. Those are the Sambos. Those are the people that they use against each other. They use them against us. The ones that are safe for them to keep us, the rowdy ones, keep them niggas over there. Keep them in line. Let us know. Let us know if they feel, if you see them rising up. And what they gonna do? They gonna let them know because they have trained them. They vetted them. They trained them. They already brainwashed them. And they know they can trust them. They know that they're not gonna cause any harm to them. They know that they'll cause harm to us first, but they won't cause any harm to them. And it's just so sad because we are just hurting ourselves. How do you get ahead if you can't trust your own? They're on code. They are on code. If they feel in a certain type of way, you better believe that you will never know. If they are feeling a certain type of way, you better believe that you will never know how they're feeling. Because guess what? They're going to keep it quiet. They're going to keep it and they're going to stay on code. They are going to do what they need to do and they're going to please master. And if that means you dying in the process, then so be it. And they won't feel bad if they kill one of theirs. That's the sad part about it. We'll fight against each other. We'll go against each other for a white woman. I told you about how that young white woman was dating one of those a black barber, and she went inside the barber, and one of the black girls didn't like her, right? And everybody, and the black girl said something to the white girl, and everybody in that barbershop went against that black girl. And I was like, wow, seriously? We got to do better. How are we gonna ever be free, you guys? How are we going to ever get free if we still forgiving people that's doing us harm? Botham Jean's brother gave the woman a hug. I keep going back to that because every time I see that, it just disgusts me to no end. Even when I seen the black judge on the case, I knew we were in trouble. And it's getting to the place where if white folk put up a black person to do something like a judge or to be over a case and it's a black case, you already know that that person has sold out to them. That's why they're up there because they know. And have you noticed more of like? Did you see the DA? He was coming against the Lafayette police. He was like the prosecutor, and he was black. I said, "Oh, he in trouble. They getting ready to come against him because he said this." I mean, he was vouching for Jacob. He said this is bad. This was a vouch. This was not good, and he was speaking up. And I said, "Dude, when you start speaking up like that, they'll get rid of you. They'll have somebody else to run against you, or the one judge, she was out of Ohio, named Karen. They actually brought her up on charges, several felony charges, which they were all fake. And this is what they do. And if you don't go along with the program, they'll turn against you all at once, and they'll come against you. They'll bring you up on charges, and they get rid of you. So if you're going to do this, just like I keep telling people, vote locally, you guys. If we vote locally, you have the mayor, you have the city council, and you have the DA. You have at least three people on board that's together so that you guys can vote and change some things. One person can't do it by themselves. So I keep telling people, if you want to run for mayor, you want two of your friends to run for city council, that's three of you guys. You can change things. You can change some things. But that's only if we come together for unity. We can't do it by ourselves. And that's the thing. We're trying to do stuff by ourselves and we can't. Yes, Mammy Tammy was handpicked, and that's the sad part about it, because a lot of people didn't understand that. But I think they did because when they saw she was black, they was like, "Oh my God!" It's almost like we automatically know that they're handpicked, especially if they're going to be over a black case. Like Botham Jean's case, that we were all thinking, that she was going to be white, whatever. But honey, they fooled us and they pulled out one of theirs, honey. She looked just like us, but that woman sure didn't think like us. And then that boy, remember Darren Brown? He died testifying for that family. And that family put him at risk because he testified for that family and he ended up dying. Remember that? And then they lied and said, oh, he was a drug dealer. And, oh, them police officers got him good. And it was, no, you're not going to tell me that. This is why the hurricane is going in Texas and Louisiana. Y'all notice that, right? You got a hurricane that's a size five, a five in Louisiana and Texas right now, right? Okay, let's see what damage they do. I'm just saying, you got a whole lot of Louisiana and Texas are the worst. Well, Florida too, but Texas is terrible. They need to blow all of Texas over and take Louisiana with it. I'm just saying. Yes, but you always know the boulets gonna always be for the mammies. The boule, like Roland Martin and Oprah, those are the boulets. Steve Harvey, the ones with money are the boulets. So yes, they gonna be, they gonna look out for each other. Cause guess what? They all they got because they can't come to us. Because Oprah knows she could never come to the black community for nothing. They've totally turned their back on her. So she knows she got to stay. Oprah, she will die right where she is. A Sambo, what you call that? A little Mammy Tammy. She gonna be right there. She could never come home, never. But guess what? If Becky did us like that, Becky could come home. Becky gonna always come home. Becky know that we'll always forgive them, but we won't forgive our own. Ain't that sad? That's how. Are you guys seeing this puzzle come together? Are you guys seeing how sick we are? Are you guys really understanding? We are really sick. We are really sick. We are sick. We will never come together for each other, but we will back them and we'll testify against our own for them and can be lying up a storm. I'm telling you, the boule, honey. That's how they got Marcus Garvey. W.E. Du Bois did him in. Ain't that something? They used his own, but he regretted that. But still, just the thought that you could be used like that, that's the sad part about it. We are so off code, and this is what we need to teach our children. And we as adults right now, we could start teaching our children right now. Yep, he sure was telling me, Monique. Yes, he did, didn't he? Monique said, no. Monique was like, oh no. Monique knew, honey. But Monique paid the price for that. She paid the price for being boisterous. She paid the price. But Steve Harvey, he been a sellout a long time. But even with Nick Cannon, he was a sellout too. Because Nick, let me tell you something about Nick. If he had stood his ground and he could have cut a record, black folk would have backed him. We would have backed him. We would have backed that brother because we were proud of him. We would have backed him. But when he backed down, do you see how they treat him now? When he backed down, when he started backing down, they started taunting him more and more and more. That's when they came to him and they wanted him to denounce Farrakhan. He wouldn't do it. He said, I don't know why we can't just come together, all these leaders, and we can't come together. He kind of got off the subject, but the man said that answer wasn't good enough. That's the man told him that Rosen, whatever man told him that answer he gave wasn't good enough. And he said he was almost, he was like teetering again. And I'm like, see, Nick messed up when he pulled back his apology and started apologizing on, carrying on. I knew then. I said, boy, they're gonna ride that tail till they can't, honey. They're gonna milk that cow, honey. And of course, they saw how weak and how much he needed his money and how he knew who was buttering his bread. He backed down real quick, didn't he? And what they do, they pounced. They pounced on him. you said, you say that's why I read. But it's just, it's I don't know. I am so I just don't know how. I don't want to see no more police nothing. I don't want to see no more tapes. I want to see us do something. I know that we have issues. I know that we can see this. I know we can feel it. I know we know that it's time to do something, but who is going to be bold enough to do it? That's what everybody's looking like. Where is that? Where is the one that y'all created to start this thing off? Where is he? Because you know he out there. I know he out there. Every day I'm looking for him to rise up. It's time. He may have to take one for the team, but that might be what we need. And just one needs to stand up. And I think people will stand up across nationwide if one. I don't know. Maybe it might take more than one. What do you think? Maybe one. What do you think? What do you guys think? One, or is it going to take more than one? What y'all say? If one person stood up, if one person stood up, do you think others will stand up, or you think it's going to take more than one? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I hope. No, I don't know. I'm just done. I'm done getting mad. I'm no more tears. I'm not shed. No more tears. I'm not even gonna watch. I don't want to. I'm not gonna watch another one. I'm not going to do it. I just can't because I think as much as we see it. I'm sorry, you guys. As much as we see it, I think that affects us. I just got off work, so y'all bear with me a little bit. I think as much as we see it, um, that can cause PTSD. I do believe that when they keep running the tape, just like they did Floyd, George Floyd, they ran the tape, and the more they run the tape, you guys, it's almost like it's planting another seed in us. What do you think, Strange Fruit? The more they run the tape and the more we see it, the more we're afraid to stand. It's almost like they're sowing seeds of fear in us, sowing seeds of trying to let us know that yeah, we bringing back the slavery thing. And if they did bring slavery back, I don't think we say we wouldn't do it, but I believe that black folk wouldn't have a choice. I don't believe that we would stand up and fight. I don't believe that we will fight them. I believe that they could very well do it now. Bring the chains back. I mean, it's already here. We're not doing nothing now. So what do you think they'll do if they did a law and say, hey, we bringing back slavery? What you think black folk gonna do? I did too, but it could have, but if it hadn't been for that little man telling, and Matt Turner didn't have, just like in FAC, he says we don't have enough people, enough bullets, enough guns right now, enough money to really fight against, you know, to really change. I mean, he stands up for black people. But let me even say one more thing. Um, what really got me is black folk really was upset because this white boy killed some white people. Th- I I I I can't believe you had black folk complaining and they was upset and like trying to call out NFAC to come and fight for this white boy that was actually fighting their own. We don't get into stuff. We don't look. You be praying that more get more. Just shoot them up. Just shoot them up. I don't know why you stop at 2 bullets. I'm just saying. But you had black folk that was upset about that. And they was very upset because those two white people died. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, they talk about us like dogs when something happened to us. They talk about us, well, y'all, if you hadn't been resisting, you guys would have died. And I'm like, well, if we don't resist, we die. If we do resist, we still die. So can we, if we do, we damn we do, we damn if we don't. What's the difference? Do we resist? Do we not? Do we run? Do we stay? Do we get on the ground? Do we put our hands up? Do we reach for our license? Do we not? What do we do? It's almost like they can, we can't, and they use extra force, extra strength force on us, extra everything on us. So if we do anything, we gonna get it. I think that's horrible. That's horrible. What in the world is going on with that? But I'm telling you, it's going to take one of us. It's going to take one of us to rise and for others to rise. Somebody got to be the one. Somebody got to be that Judas. I'm not going to say Judas. Somebody's got to be that Peter of the group. And Peter he's bad. Okay. I hear you saying that too many, what you say, too many afraid to take a stand. Well, if we don't, guess what? It'll sky's the limit to what they're gonna do to us. I'm serious. If we don't get up and stand now, the sky's the limit on what they're gonna do to us. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, who's going what's gonna happen? If we don't stand up to them now, what choices are we gonna have? What choices do we have? I'm just not understanding. I don't know. I'm just I can't make sense of it. Why? How do we get here? I remember a time when I was growing up, and they wouldn't dare. They didn't even look at us crazy. All of this talk that Karen doing out of her mouth, man, you couldn't have paid one of white women to come up, white girls to come up and say nothing to us. They'd had a fist out and all the way down their throat. I'm just saying. And we'd have been pulling up tonsils and we'd have been pulling up hearts out of we'd have been okay. I'm just saying. They didn't talk to us crazy like they doing to these young folk now. No. These Karens having a field day. Calling cops, and then the one dude calling the cops on the dog catcher. The man with the dog. The man with the dog. Remember, he wouldn't even testify. He didn't even wanna have nothing. He was the gay guy, right? He didn't even want to bring Karen up on charges. He said, no, she's suffered enough. What? That's another thing. Let me see. This is what I'm saying. How are you gonna say she suffered enough when she had no consequences? So how did she suffer enough? All of what she got, she deserved. It was nothing that she got that she didn't deserve. So if people was calling her threatening her, then guess what? They should have clowned her. They should have threatened her. Period. They should have, because she was trying to bring death down on the man with the dog. She had the dog, but he asked her to put the dog on a leash or something, and she had a fit. But my thing is, she was trying to bring death on him. Hey, okay, one more thing, you guys. Biden said that the Indians, now listen how dumb this was. He said the Indians should have gotten reparations. Obama gave them reparations, 3.3 million. Does Biden not remember that? Because he keeps saying that. And I'm looking at him like, excuse me, the Indians got 3.3 million dollars in reparations. So Obama gave them. Yes, we are the chosen strange fruit. Yes. But you know what? In the word is he said we will be called by words. But he also talked about, guess what? When this is all over with, which is soon, then guess whose turn? Joel 3, read it. It says the same thing that you did to them, they're gonna do to your children. Oh, it says they're going to get it back double. Joel 3, read it. Like the first or second chapter. Oh, honey, yeah, they got it coming. So every time I look at that, I'll be like, oh yeah, you're in trouble. I'll be like, oh yeah, you in trouble. But my prayer is, and this is what everybody's prayer is: let the fire of Yah fall. Bring the fire down on their heads. Bring the fire down on their heads. I'm telling you, not only on their heads, but their children's children to the third and fourth generation, because that's his word. He said, I visit the sins of the father to the third and fourth generation. So it's time for them to get some payback. What's that song? The Big Payback, okay, by James Brown. Yeah, it's time for them to get some payback. And I'm not gonna feel bad. I know some black folk will. And guess what? We're gonna have to whoop on their behind, and we're gonna deal with them. You ain't finna okay. We're gonna deal with them because they need to be dealt with. Because we've had enough of this forgiving, and you know, but you have to understand this is what came out of Christianity. And I'm telling you, every church on earth needs to be shut down. Every last one. When I see these white evangelicals, and they're all for Trump, and they are all so they sold out for Trump, or some lady said, oh, he got saved in the White House. What? I'm looking at her like, I when they say certain stuff out of their mouth, they show their ignorance to me. They show, and they say that they have the high IQs, and I look at them and I'm like, that's a high IQ, right? When they say something stupid, or they Anything that come out their mouth that's really dumb, I'm looking at them like, and you're the one with the higher IQs, really? Okay, right. Let me see what we talking about. What happened? Um, really? You said three sons? Yes, they did. The Indians did get their reparations as far as 3 million. Plus, they got casinos. They don't have to ever file for any licensing. They got free licensings for a lifetime. Yeah, and all of the money that they make for their casinos, they get to keep. But I think what you're seeing in the Indian, the reservations and stuff, they could do a whole lot more to their reservations because their reservations look terrible. I mean, they could do a whole I mean, they could use that money from the casinos, and this is why the Indians, I don't know why I had to approve that one. That was crazy. They should never open up again. You're right, ever. But I think they should use Indians should use some of that money to improve the reservations because reservations look terrible. I mean, if you've ever been to an it looks like a ghetto. It looks really no, it looks worse than a ghetto. But you have to understand the way our ghettos were made. It was created by white people. They lived in our in neighborhoods. They brought them down, they moved out, they took the businesses. Then your government redlined the areas and created ghettos. And we couldn't get loans to fix nothing up. We couldn't get loans to buy our own properties. We couldn't get loans. So the landlords that was owning the properties would just let the properties wear down. Then what happened? Reagan put and Nixon put drugs into our neighborhood. And then they took the jobs from our neighborhood, just like that right now. They're giving the jobs to the immigrants. I went to a Walmart in San Diego and it was nothing but Mexicans in there. And I'm just saying, but this is how they have systematically kept jobs from our men, keeping jobs from our children, keeping jobs from us. But guess what? Sometimes things will happen to kind of push you into your own. And I do believe that some of this stuff is happening and Yah is trying to push us out and make us get our own. We can open up our own businesses. We can do group economics and have our own businesses. I do believe that, you guys. So this is what's pissing me off because it's a lot of stuff that we need to be doing that we're not doing. We're not even thinking about doing. We're not thinking about getting our own business. We're not even thinking about getting our own schools. It's almost like we're stuck and we're waiting for white supremacy to do for us. Why are we waiting for white supremacy to do for us what we can do for ourselves? They're never going to do it. That's the sad part about it. They are never going to do it for us. And we don't recognize that. We're still waiting for white supremacists to do what? To free us? They're not going to do it. We waiting on Biden and Kamala to do what? What have they promised us? One thing. Tell me one thing they promised black people. Period. Because Carmela already said. Kamala. I know I keep saying Carmela, but Kamala has already said I am not going to do anything for just black people. And Biden don't even mention you. He said, I ain't gotta mention them niggas. They gonna give me their vote regardless. And you know that's true. We will give him our vote regardless of anything. He don't have to promise you nothing. He don't have to give you nothing. He don't have to say he gonna give you nothing. And guess what? We'll still vote for him. We'll still vote for him. That's the sad part about it. And don't feel bad either. We're giving him our vote gladly. And look at the, and don't even and we're not even requiring him to give us nothing. We've not even put demands on the table. We've not even said, okay, if we're gonna give you this, then we're gonna get this from you. We've not said that. We've not said anything. We're still willing to give them without getting anything because we've done that all the time. When have we ever asked for anything? And somebody said, well, we didn't ask Obama for anything. I'm like, guess what? White folk don't ever ask either, but they get. They don't ever ask, but they automatically put wealth on the table for them, don't they? But do they ask for anything? No. When you have children, you automatically know they have to eat. So you just automatically feed them. And you don't your child does not have to come up to you and say, Mom, We're gonna eat today. You automatically wake up and say, let's go eat breakfast. You automatically say, let's go eat lunch. You automatically say, hey, we're gonna go to the store and get dinner. They don't have to ask you for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They don't even have to ask you for a new outfit. They don't have to ask you for school clothes. They don't have to ask you. You automatically know my kids are in need of blah, blah, blah. And you already got it in your mind what you're gonna do for them, right? That's not how the Democrats, and I hate when people try to bring up Trump because I go, guess what? Black folks have not been dedicated to Republicans. So we don't expect the Republicans to do anything, but Black people have been dedicated to the Democrats. So we expect everything from the Democrats. We expect them to do something for our vote, but we don't support them financially and we don't support them and vote locally. So guess what? They do for everybody else that is financially supporting them. So if we started financially supporting them, does that mean they're going to do something for us? No, because guess what? We have the wrong people in office. We have the boule in office. We need to put somebody with a black heart, a heart after black folk, and give them a list of demands and say, okay, this is what I expect and this is what I demand, and hold their feet to the fire. And if they don't, then okay, we know that you're not going to get our vote next year, and we put up the next person. This is what it's going to take. It's going to take us doing the work. But we don't want to do the work. We want other people to do it for us. And you want other people that don't like you, that hate your guts, and have showed you over and over and over and over and over how they feel about you. We want them to do something for us. It's not going to happen, family. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So now what? Now what are we willing to do? Anything? What's your suggestions? It's time for us to do something. It only time bullies stop bullying. Only time bullies stop bullying is when we force them. And I know people are like, oh my God. But we got some men. I know, you know what? You have to understand, it's going to take a certain type of a man he's going to step out because he was created for such a time as this. And I really believe that, you guys. I'm not lying. I really do believe that Yah has a certain type of a man that he's already created, and he's already created him to step out to defend the black culture. I do believe that. I do believe that. And I don't believe that that man is going to die. I don't believe he's going to be hurt. I believe that if we step out, Yah is going to protect us, because sometimes he wants to push you. Sometimes he'll push you into your destiny. He'll push you into the line of fire. He'll push you out there in order to put you onto your right path. But right now, we're so stuck in fear that we're just like, oh my God, we're scared to move. We scared not to move. We move a little inch and we keep looking, and we come back and we'll move a little another inch and we come back and we look and we look and we move. And it's like, come on, when are we gonna jump out there and do something? It's all about us. It's all up to us. If we are going to be free, it is going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us. But we can't sit back and wait for white supremacy to do it, because they're not going to do it. Oh boy. Wow. Mm, wow. I'm reading some comments. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Well, hold on. You said Septia. Septia. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If I'm not, I do apologize. If I'm not pronouncing your name, I do apologize. You said that you was in a forum not long ago where there was a panel voting for Biden. When asked why they were casting their vote for him, they all stated to get Trump out of office. To get you. Okay. But guess what? They're both the same. They're both the same. They're not getting anything different. I don't understand what is it that they want us to do? What is it that white America want us to save them from themselves? That's not our job. Our job is to do what we need to do to help ourselves. If it's us coming together, group economics, getting our own businesses, then that's what I think we need to do. You can't sit there and wait for white supremacy to do anything for you. It's not going to happen. So I'm just like, if Trump get back in there, good. If Biden get back in there, oh my God, it's I don't care. It doesn't matter. Both of them are racist. It's not like one is more racist than the other. Racist is racist. I don't think can you be more racist than the next? I don't know. Yes, they're getting absolutely nothing. He's not promised any of them anything, and you can't look at Trump and say, "Well, Trump's not promising you nothing." Well, he's not supposed to. We're not devoted Trumpsters. We are devoted Democrats, right? Not me. I'm just saying, Black folk, period, are devoted uh, Democrats, right? So why would we expect Trump to do anything? Well, who we should expect to do something for us is Biden, because we are devoted Democrats, and we've been voting Democratic forever, which is not what Martin Luther King was at first. He was a Republican. He turned to be a Democrat when Kennedy saved him. Martin Luther King did something. He went to jail. Kennedy helped him to get out of jail. That's when he turned to be a Democrat. But other than that, Martin Luther King was a Republican. And the Republicans, if you would do your history, did more things for the Black folk. Instead, the Democrats never did anything but hurt, harm, and danger to Black folk. Nothing ever, ever. So when you say, I'm gonna die hard Democrat, I look at you like you're a fool, because did you do your homework? Do you actually know that half of the KKK members are Democrats? Okay, and the other half Republicans. So guess what? You got two of the same. Okay, you got one body with a left arm and a right arm, and they're hooked to the same person, right? So what difference if I have two arms? What's the difference? It's still attached to the same body. It's just separate members, but there's no difference, no change. Okay, yes, I heard about the Desir, and that's what I keep telling people. That's why, for Black people, we really Biden is going to sell the country out to China. You guys know that, right? Because he's got a contract with China. But the Democrats have done nothing for the Black masses for over 60 years. You're right, they have not. But you have to understand, I'm not for either one, but for some things that's coming down the pipe. Trump, they really need Trump to get in there to complete the job. I'd rather have him to complete the job that needs to be done. So like I keep telling people, they're doing a reset now. If you're listening to Lynette Zane, they did a reset and they made an announcement today. I didn't get to see it before I came on here. So I'm gonna look after I get done with this, but they made an announcement as far as the a reset of the economy, because the economy is going through a reset. They're gonna be paying off house notes, they're gonna be paying off student loans. Get your gold and silver. Make sure you have food, extra food, water, because I do believe that we are going to see a shortage in water. So I'm just saying, you guys go and start getting your water, extra water. Every time you get $2, go and get you some water. Every time you see $2, go get your water. Um, I do believe that this thing is going to get way worse before it gets better. When it gets better, Israel is going to be in charge. That's the only way it's going to get better. But it's never going to get better. Looking at where I'm looking at it now, it's never going to get better. It's going to be it's a reset. I mean, we got next. So this is our time to do what we need to do. You guys, I did not want to keep you on here long. I do appreciate everybody that tuned in. Like I said, I do a YouTube and Blog Talk. I do appreciate everybody is going to check this channel out. I hope I said something that kind of touched hearts. I hope I explained my title. I don't want to see. I can't deal with none of the no more. I don't want to see it. I can't do it. I mean, I just was ready to cry at work today, just thinking about all the pain and all the agony and all the trauma and all the rage and everything that we've gone through and we're going through even now is still, and I was listening to somebody talking about, her son was in jail, and he was charged as an adult. He was 16, and how you know they just did all kind of, I mean, they really got this young man, and he doesn't have a chance. 16, he got 10 years for like a misdemeanor or something. Well, it's not one a misdemeanor, but it was something that he did. But you have white folk that's killing people and not getting but 10 years. But this boy didn't kill anybody and got 10 years, and he was 16. Tried him as an adult. I'm just saying, I'm tired of the hype. I'm tired of I'm tired of it, and I don't see black people standing up to say nothing against this. It's like that panhandler, he died. Yes, they brought the man up on charges, but the man was able to go home. If that man had been black, would he have been able to go home? I see a lot of comments, and they talk about Dylan Roof and how he was served a Burger King. And I asked a question. I said, if that was my black brother, okay, black brother who killed your white mother, would he still have gotten a Burger King? I'm just saying, would he have still gotten a Burger King? No. Okay. Yes, the things that we're seeing is really taking a toll. I don't know about you guys, but it's really taking a toll on me. I mean, it's just like I know this person is going to stand. I know that Yah has a person picked out just for to help us to get out of this, just like he did with Moses. I do believe that we have a Moses. I just don't know when he's going to stand, but I do believe that we have one. And I do not believe that it's going I do believe two-thirds of us going to die. That's the word, but I believe that those are the ones that may be that stay here after we're gone, because I do believe that we're going to have to do an exodus. I do believe that it's going to be a second exodus, and we're going to have that one um, window, that one time frame to get out. And if we don't, we're going to die because of some black folk are going to want to stay with their captives because they don't believe that we're supposed to go back to Africa, but that's where the promised land is. People don't understand that it's all in Africa, and Africa is like they have the gold, they have the silver, they have the diamonds, they have everything that we need. And that is the land of milk and honey. It's not Jerusalem. Jerusalem has, I mean, when they describe the land of milk and honey, they're not describing Jerusalem, but people don't understand where the Sahara Desert is. That's where it is, but people don't understand that. That's another story within itself. But I do appreciate everybody that tuned in. You guys, I appreciate you guys because I know you don't have to do it. You didn't have to come on, but we gonna do this again, and maybe on next Tuesday, and then we're also gonna do it every Thursday. I'm here every Thursday, and we're gonna have another one the next week. I think it's gonna be Tuesday. We're gonna talk about why are we fighting to stay in Egypt? Why are Black people fighting so hard to stay in Egypt? You would think that they would have the idea of moving and relocating to another city or another country. And what do I hear? I built this city, I built this country. And I'm like, but it's for one, it's gonna be destroyed. And for two, you're fighting for land that's not yours. You're fighting for a country that they don't even recognize you. Okay. They are willing to kill you just for being breathing, just for being black, and you're willing to fight for that country. I don't think so. But yet there will always be another man. I do believe that. Okay. I do believe that there is going to be a Moses. I'm gonna call him a Moses, but he's not a Moses. Um, oh wow. Okay, let me help you out. You know what? When people say Jesus, or which is so crazy because that's not even his name. People don't understand that the letter J just came in the alphabet. Okay, 400 years ago. What they call him before, they called him Jesus. They called him Yahshua, Yahweh, right? And if people don't know who and what he looked like, which is in Revelations 1:14, then when you see this white Jesus that's coming on the scene and going to be doing miracles, that's how you're going to be confused. That's how you're going to be confused. Jazzy 34, welcome, welcome. That's right. I don't need I believe, you know what? But some people are fighting to stay, and that's what we need to talk about. When is it time to leave? I believe that he's given people nudges already to leave. And if you don't feel those nudges, if you don't hear and if you don't adhere to those nudges, you're gonna miss out. Because I do believe that he's nudging people now to go and make that exit, and he's asking you to make way for others that's going to come. I do believe that. But that's a topic. Why are people fighting to stay in Egypt? That's my next topic. And I try to get my shows before I, lined up. But I appreciate each and everybody that has tuned in. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I want you guys to like and share. And try to invite a friend next time. Like, want you to like and share it, and share it to your Facebook, share it to your pages, share it to your friends. I think it's some information on here that people need to hear. And I think it's time to hear. It's time to hear what we're some of these topics. It's time for us to really face some real, true Black issues, and we have some Black issues, and we need to really open our eyes, family, because it's not going to get any better. And once they get Kamala or Biden in here, we're done. It's we're done. We're done. But with that said, family, I'm going to go. You guys have a great night on purpose. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll do it again. Peace, family.